With everything going on around us in our world and the pandemic and how it's forced us all into our homes, there's been some articles talking about an increase in divorce filings, somewhat humorous in some ways and obviously very serious in others. There's also been some articles that talk about a potential increase in domestic violence claims and allegations between people living together. And that comes with it a whole host of questions and concerns with respect to how those types of claims are going to be addressed. When someone procures a temporary restraining order against another person, they are very often liberally granted, and the impact can be someone being forced to leave their home. Now, with this pandemic going on and the social distancing restrictions, where is the person who's forced to leave supposed to go? Certainly, if there's a hotel available, that's somewhere they can go if there's a nearby family. But otherwise, the options are really limited, which is all the more reason why these matters really need to be addressed in a fast and expeditious fashion. Courts are largely closed, which presents another substantial problem to address when trying to provide due process and justice to both parties involved. Um, they are doing everything they can to get up and running with video conferences and Zoom technology and whatever it may be, um, in order to address these matters as possible. And in fact, I just recently had a domestic violence final restraining order hearing that was supposed to proceed via Zoom technology. And while we were able to enter into what's called a consent order with civil restraints, that ended up avoiding the need for the hearing, it was interesting in that we all were on the phone on the video technology with the judge, who was in the courtroom, and the parties were in other boxes of the Zoom video, as well as the lawyers, and all of the evidence was provided to the court, and testimony was prepared to be taken. And under the circumstances of the situation and how domestic violence matters are supposed to proceed quickly, it was an incredible use of technology in an effort to move the matter forward through what is truly an extraordinary time that we're all dealing with. Um, in the situation that we're facing, when the choice is allowing a pending temporary restraining order to go for weeks, if not months on end, without any sort of resolution or determination by a court, allowing us to move forward today under the circumstances, for better or for worse, shows that it can be done. While we didn't ultimately go through the hearing to see how it would have unfolded, how witnesses would have testified, since credibility determinations are often a gigantic part of a final restraining order hearing, how the evidence really would have been presented, and what other advantages and disadvantages would have presented themselves through a video litigation. It really was an appropriate way for which to move this case forward and to hopefully move other cases forward as we're going through this. While courthouses are largely closed, judges are doing everything they can to move matters, to adapt to the technology, and to really do everything they can to make sure that litigants' cases are not essentially on hold for who knows how long. In addition to that, family law practitioners are working hard to mediate and engage in settlement conferences and doing everything they can via the technology that we have, which is really quite advanced when considering what we're dealing with. And it does allow everyone to operate remotely, as our office has been operating remotely for the past couple of weeks and will continue to do so to service our clients. So in the context of a domestic violence matter, it certainly was a unique experience, and it's something that I think is going to continue to happen while we are under these social distancing restrictions. And it does ensure that, for better or for worse, that clients are being provided and litigants are being provided with a forum and a level of due process to have their claims determined.